So one of the most fundamental rules of composition, perhaps even the cardinal rule of composition, is the rule of thirds. And essentially what this refers to is us breaking our frame up, our photographic frame, into thirds, whether they be vertical thirds or horizontal thirds. And this is just a nice way of adding good visual tension. It breaks up our image. It also helps us to separate between foreground, middle ground, and background. As well, you want to keep in mind, for placement of objects or subjects, a great place to put them is one of those 4 thirds intersects, whether it's the upper or lower right-hand corner or the upper or lower left-hand corner. Generally speaking, when we shoot images of people, animals, objects, we want to place them in one of those thirds intersects. So we got a really nice scene right here, kind of a lake scene with kind of the city in the background. And it's just a good illustration of our rule of thirds here. We've got some people in rowboats out here, and we've got a nice kind of even division of thirds with the water and then the tree line and the buildings. And I'm kind of just setting up shots here with rowboats, and you can see what I'm doing is I'm actually putting them in one of those thirds intersects. Right now he's in the bottom left-hand corner right there, and I'm getting a nice side profile on it. The other thing I kind of like, I got these tall buildings right here. A little bit earlier I was shooting with, you know, some rowboats underneath, and I can balance. See, this is what the thirds, the rule of thirds does for us. It helps us to balance our images. You know, we don't want them to be too heavy on either side or the top or the bottom. So that's something we need to think about with our composition. So when you're composing your images, it's really important not to place things right in the middle, not to cut the image right in half with the horizon line. If you're shooting a horizon, you definitely want to put that in the lower or the upper third. The better you can learn to compose using this rule of thirds, the more depth and dimension you're going to be able to give your images. You're going to sap them of that static feel. We don't want them to feel static. We want them to feel moving. We want them to feel real. And the way we do that is by giving them depth and dimension. So understanding that rule of thirds is really going to help you to engage that viewer, give it good visual attention, make that image much more pleasing to look at.